Let go of the individuals from your past. They didn't make it into your future for a reason. If the people in your life don't inspire you, then you're not in a circle, you're trapped in a cage. You can't recover in the same environment that made you sick. Be cautious about who you build relationships with, because people might use you as a foundation and complete the structure with someone else. Don't stick with toxic friends just because you've known them for a long time. Never give up. You might be closer to your goal than you think. You won't achieve much in life if you only work on the days when you feel good. Honesty might not win you many friends, but it will attract the right ones. Your future is shaped by what you focus on. It's more important to have the strength to walk away from the wrong choices than to make the right ones. The more time you spend on what isn't meant for you, the longer you delay what is. Say no to the desire for perfection, or you won't be able to improve. Drive carefully on the road of life, because people will change lanes without signaling. Never sacrifice your potential for what you are now. You learn a lot about people when they don't get what they want from you. Stop being so available to those who only show up when it's convenient for them. Choose your habits wisely, they determine your future. Never apologize for who you are or how you feel. It's like saying sorry for being real. You only get one body, take care of it. You'll have it your whole life, and while it's resilient, it can only give you what you put into it. To change your life, you need to change your priorities. If you wouldn't like something done to you, don't do it to others. Time introduces you to people, your heart decides who you want in your life, and your behavior determines who stays. You are the result of your daily actions. Forget about changing others. Change yourself or your environment, or both. One of the biggest mistakes is assuming that others think like you do. You can waste your life drawing boundaries, or you can live your life crossing them. Your wound isn't your fault, but your healing is your responsibility. You'll ruin your life trying to make everyone happy. Learn to be content and happy on your own. If you need others to be happy, it will make you weak. Just because you miss someone doesn't mean they need to be back in your life. Missing someone is part of getting over them. The key to making good mistakes is not to hide them, especially from yourself. Growth can be painful. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Being true to yourself may lead to loneliness, but it's worth it. Hiding from your problems won't make them go away. Facing them is the only way to grow. Never give someone a second chance to waste your time. There's only one thing more valuable than our time, and that's who we spend it with. Don't cling to anyone, not even your most beloved. Every person is both a prison and a hiding place. Worry about your character, not your reputation. Your character is who you are. Your reputation is who people think you are. Be like a tree and let the dead leaves fall. You can't be happy with someone else if you aren't happy with yourself. Don't be afraid to do things alone. Waiting for others will cause you to miss out on some amazing things in life. The people who demand the most from you are the ones who do the least for you. Be smart enough to ask for advice, but wise enough to choose who to get it from. You don't realize the true value of a moment until it becomes a memory. If you don't encounter any problems in a day, you're probably on the wrong path. The moment you feel like you're hanging on by a thread, let go. You shouldn't be holding on to something that makes you feel that way. You can't make someone love you by giving them more of what they don't appreciate. Don't make one person the center of your happiness. Don't make them the reason you're happy, because once they leave your life, you're left with nothing. You can't have everything and be everywhere. Learn to make the right choices and commit to what matters most. Close some doors today, not out of pride, inability, or arrogance, but because they lead nowhere. The greatest gift you can give yourself is freedom from others' opinions. You were born with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use them in that ratio. Action brings more clarity than thought. so you can't think your way into a new life. You have to act your way in. If you're not resilient yet, life will only get tougher. Never judge someone without knowing their whole story. You might think you understand, but you don't. Stop explaining yourself and telling people everything. You owe no one an explanation for what you do. Change happens when you go against everything you're used to. True growth is when you start checking and correcting yourself instead of blaming others. You take back your power by taking responsibility for your life. Returning to your ex is like taking a shower and putting on dirty underwear. Before you start a new chapter, the old one must end. Tell yourself that what has passed will never come back. Nothing is irreplaceable. A habit is not a need. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. If you don't design your own life plan, you'll likely fall into someone else's, and their plan for you isn't much. Chasing happiness leads to misery until you realize that happiness is the journey. The more seriously you take yourself, the unhappier you'll be. Never hate jealous people. They're jealous because they think you're better than them. Never complain about something you have the power to change. You give power to someone when you blame them for your problems. Later often means never. Never try to gain someone's sympathy. The people who care about you will be there when you need them. You don't need to show them you're their best friend. Forgiving people in silence and never speaking to them again is self-care. Don't make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Stay away from narcissists. They don't play by any rules and will drain the life out of you slowly. Regard whatever the present moment contains as holy. Accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will transform your life miraculously. You can't make people love you the way you love them. The only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. You must discipline yourself carefully. Keep the promises you make to yourself and reward yourself so you can trust and motivate yourself. When you build in silence, no one knows where to attack. Treat yourself as someone you are responsible for helping. Clocks show time, and time shows people. Recognizing that you're not where you want to be is the first step to changing your life. Unless you try to do something beyond what you've already mastered, you won't grow. Let others' actions speak for them. People will show you more than they will tell you. Your life becomes meaningful in direct proportion to the depth of responsibility you are willing to bear. If you never heal from what hurt you, you'll bleed on people who didn't cut you. No matter the good you do for people, they will remember your mistakes. Don't expect people to do the right or ethical thing. People make decisions based on self-interest, not what is right. Don't quit. Sometimes the things you hope for come at unexpected times. You can't change someone who doesn't see a problem with their actions. Failure shows us the way by showing us what isn't the way. Stop overestimating others and underestimating yourself. You must let pain visit you. You must allow it to teach you. You must not let it overstay. Never overlook contempt. When someone views you with contempt and speaks to you as if you're beneath them, they are likely to harm you, whether relationally, socially, or physically. Remove that person from your life. Most of the time, you have to swallow the pain and learn to grow up on your own. Commitment is what gets you started. I'm going to stop you. You'll never see the great things ahead if you keep looking at the bad things behind you. Stop asking why they kept doing it and start asking why you keep allowing it. Be cautious about who you trust. Salt and sugar look the same. Don't fault a clown for acting like one. Ask yourself why you keep attending the circus. Don't accept criticism from someone you wouldn't take advice from. The quickest way to gain self-confidence is to do what you fear. Never keep people in your life who don't love and respect you as much as you do them. Boundaries won't cost you friends and relationships. They'll help you lose pretenders and manipulators. Your past is your chance to learn the lessons you need for your present life. Never discuss your problems with someone who can't solve them. You're free to choose, but you're not free from the consequences of your choice. People who avoid failure also avoid success. Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and beautiful at the end. You are defined by your actions, not your intentions. If someone tells you that you can't, they're revealing their limits, not yours. Remember two things in life: take care of your thoughts when you're alone, and take care of your words when you're with others. A man without a vision for his future always reverts to his past. Stop doing things for someone when you realize it's expected, not appreciated. Expecting the world to be fair with you because you are fair is like expecting a lion not to eat you because you didn't eat him. Don't raise your voice. Improve your argument. Change is unavoidable. Progression is a choice. Don't cling to your mistakes just because you spent a lot of time making them. Walk away when a promise turns into an apology. Your best teacher is your last mistake. You'll never be criticized by someone who does more than you. You'll always be criticized by someone who does less. A mistake repeated more than once is a decision. Sometimes you can make all the right choices and then watch them crumble around you. You just have to pick up the pieces and keep moving. Be alone sometimes. It's important for your mind and well-being. Anger is the punishment we give ourselves for someone else's mistake. Mistakes don't define your character. Your response to them does. Ability can take you to the top, but it takes character to stay there. Trust is built over the course of a relationship but can be lost in an instant if you're not careful. If you don't fight for what you want, don't cry over what you lost. Set a goal so big that you can't achieve it until you grow into the person you can be. Be aware of people who are in your circle but not in your corner. Life gives you many chances to mess up, which means you have just as many chances to get it right. The reason you want to be better than someone else is the reason why you aren't. Your progress doesn't need to be seen or validated by others to be real. Don't just go through life, grow through life. We don't walk away to teach people a lesson. We walk away because we've finally learned ours. Stop being considerate in situations where you aren't even considered. There are two ways to do things, right and again. If you're driven by fear, anger, or pride, nature will force you to compete. If you're guided by courage, awareness, tranquility, and peace, nature will serve you. If you have to keep asking yourself if something is worth it, then it probably isn't. A person must be mature enough to recognize their mistakes, smart enough to learn from them, and strong enough to correct them. Teach your heart to accept disappointments, even from those you love. Once you mature, you'll realize that silence is more powerful than proving a point. Someday isn't even a real day, although for some people, it's every day. A man who stands for nothing will fall for anything. Once a problem is solved, its simplicity is astonishing. You can't really control someone's loyalty. You can do a lot for someone and still be treated poorly. Believe half of what you see and don't believe anything you hear. Learn to be content and happy by yourself. If you need others to be happy, it will make you weak. Don't let emotions affect your life, whether they're yours or someone else's. Don't let yesterday take up too much of today. If you want to know who controls you, look at who you're not allowed to criticize. Stop expecting others to respect you more than you respect yourself. Whatever is causing you worry or pain right now won't cause you worry or pain forever. Things change with time, and it will pass. Don't borrow anything you can't afford to replace. Actions show who someone is. Words just show who they pretend to be. You can't change other people, and it's rude to try. Chasing a person doesn't give you value or build value in you. You earn your value by pursuing morality and practicing dignity. If you blame it on someone else, don't expect it to get better. Forgiving doesn't make the person who hurt you feel better. It makes you feel better. Sometimes the right path isn't the easiest one. Knowledge isn't free. You have to pay attention. Only disciplined people are truly free. If you're undisciplined, you're a slave to your moods and desires. Lessons in life will be repeated until they're learned. Just because the boat rocks doesn't mean it's time to jump ship. Say no more than you wish to have said. Do no less than what you wish you had done. Sometimes the choice you make isn't as important as making a choice and committing to it. Don't let the noise of other people's opinions drown out your inner voice. Thinking is hard. That's why most people judge. Live in reality as it is, not as you wish it was. Don't do anything you'd have to lie about later. You don't really know the person you're with until you live together. Never marry anyone without living with them first. Every person alive reaches a crossroads in life when you have to let go of the past and move forward into something new. The only sad thing would be clinging to the past once it's out of reach. A broken heart is just the growing pains necessary so that you can love more completely when the real thing comes along. When you make a commitment, you build hope. When you keep it, you build trust. People treating you poorly reflects on them, not you. Listen not to reply, but to understand. Be the person you needed when you were younger. The answer is always no until you ask. Don't make decisions when you're angry. Don't make promises when you're happy. Today is the tomorrow you talked about yesterday. No matter how good a person you are, you'll always be the villain in someone's story. You never truly know another person unless you can inhabit their mind. You'll never be privy to their true nature. If you need more than one hand to count your best friends, you're not a great best friend. No one ever gets tired of loving. They get tired of waiting, hearing lies, assuming, apologizing, and hurting. Some talk to you in their free time, and some make time to talk to you. Learn the difference. If you don't overcome your tendency to give up easily, your life will lead to nothing. Privacy is power. What people don't know, they can't ruin. Don't spend your life dreaming about what could have been in another place or under different circumstances. Instead, invest your energy in what's right in front of you. The world owes you nothing. It's too big and has too much going on to care about you. Not everyone is going to understand your journey or believe in what you believe in. You're on your own path, so never change who you are. Sometimes the strongest among us are the ones who smile through silent pain, cry behind closed doors, and fight battles nobody knows about. Maybe your path is harder because your calling is higher. Everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end.
Thank you for listening, everyone. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to receive great videos every day from the Quotes of Stoic channel. Goodbye and see you again.